Welcome to another video on PHP with MySQL Essential Training. Today we are going to learn about different kind of loops in PHP, like while loop, do while loop, for each, break and continue. First of all, we have to learn how to repeat code by using loops in PHP. PHP loops often when you write code, you want the same block of code to run over and over again a certain number of times. So instead of adding several almost equal code lines in a script, you can use loops. Loops are used to execute the same block of code again and again as long as a certain condition is true. In PHP, we have the following loop types, like while loop, uh, through a block of code as long as the satisfied condition is true. Do while loop through a block of code once and then repeat the code as long as the specified condition is true. For loops through a block of code a specified number of times. For each loop through a block of code for each element in an array. So let's jump into while loop. The while loop through a block of code as long as a specified condition is true, as we mentioned earlier. The syntax we are going to, let's jump into the practical section. Okay, open Visual Studio Code, make sure your Apache and MySQL server is running. Close this one, open a new file and save this one as let's call it file. And save it as PHP. Okay. The while syntax will be like this. While condition is true, then the code will be executed. This is the condition syntax for while loop. Let's try out an example. Let's declare a variable x equal to 1 while x is less than or equal 5. This is the condition, x is less than or equal 5. It will output the number is x. The first value, while the code is running for the first time, the value will be 1. Then after executing this command, then it increment the value of x 1 plus 1. then the value will be 2. In second line the output will be 2, and it returns to this line and increases the value again. 2 plus 1 is 3. By this way, when the value came to 4, then 4 plus 1 equal to 5. 5 is equal to 5, then is satisfied. Here the number is 5. After then it jumps to here. 5 plus 1 equal to 6. Then it returns to first line. 6 is not less than or equal 5, so the code terminate here. Does not proceed this line. Let's check the output for this command. Localhost while here you see, let's side by side see. Suppose we put here 3. Let's check the output. The result will be 3, 4, 5. Okay, here you see. Now let's change this to 50 or 60. Okay, save this one and run again. Here you see. If we put 900, run again, here you see. It's really interesting to see the output. Here x++ increases the loop counter value by 1 for each iteration, and the less than or equal sign continues the loop as long as the variable x is less than or equal to this value 900. And this one is initialization value. Okay, I hope that's all about while loop. Let's try another one by changing this value x++ value to x plus equal to 100. Okay, by changing this it will increase the loop counter value by 100. Loop counter value by 100. Okay, let's check the output. Here you see, for first iteration it prints 3, then add 100, and this will be 103. Every iteration it increases plus 100 with them. So that's all about while loop. Let's jump into do while loop. Do while loop through a block of code once and then repeat the loop as long as the specified condition is true. The do while loop will always execute the block of code once. It will then check the condition and repeat the loop while the specified condition is true. We'll show an example first. Let's create another file named to while. Save as PHP to while. Okay. Let's check out our first example. Here we have declared the first variable x equal to 1. Then do echo the number is x, that means 1, x plus plus, it increases the value of x to 2 while. Okay, let's check the output for this. Okay, here you see after meeting this condition, the loop is terminated. The variable x is less than or equal to 5. Okay. Let's change this value to 6. And the number is 6. Okay. That means after executing this condition on first iteration, it terminates there and does not return for another iteration, and so on. This is all about while loop. Let's go for loop, the most used loop as far I know. The for loop through a block of code a specified number of times. The for loop is used when you know in advance how many times the script should run. The syntax, let's jump into example first. That would be helpful for our understanding. Okay. Here's the syntax for loop. Here is here x equal to 0, initialize the loop counter and set the start value to 0, and x is less than or equal to 10, defines continue the loop as long as the variable x is less than or equal to 10, and variable $x plus plus defines the increase the loop counter value by 1 for each iteration. Okay, let's run this code. 0 1 2 3 4 to 10. As you see, let's change this value to 15 and 0 changes to 8. Run this again. Here you see 8 to 15. Okay, let's try another one. Put 0 here and here 100. They increase the value loop counter value by 10 equal to 10. Zero, 10, 20, 30. It increases the loop counter value by 10 for each iteration through the 100. That's all about for loop. Let's check the for each loop. The for each loop throw a block of code for each element in an array. The for each loop works only on arrays and is used to loop through each key or value pair in an array. For every loop iteration, the value of current array element is assigned to value, and the array pointer is moved by 1 until it reaches the last array element. Let's show an example for each loop. Let's create another for each loop. Here you see we have declared an array colors red, green, blue and yellow. By using for each loop we called the array colors as value, those value. Okay, and echo those values. Here you see. We can also call multi-dimensional arrays. Let's check another example. Here you see Peter age is 35, Pen age is 37. We call that array x and value. Here you see. Okay, let's continue to another loop named break and continue. You have already seen the break statement used in an earlier chapter of this tutorial. It was used to jump out of a switch statement. It breaks statement can also be used to jump out of the loop. Let's check an example first. Okay. Let's call it break. Number is 0, 1, 2, 3. If x equal to 4, there's a command called break. The continue statement breaks on iteration in the loop if a specified condition occurs and continue with the next iteration in the loop. Let's check another example for PHP continue statement. Okay. If x equal to 4, then continue. In this example, the value of x is escaped. If we put suppose 3, let's check out. 3 will be escaped. Let's check out break and continue in a while loop. One, 0, 1, 2, 3. Here x value is 0 while x is less than 10. Okay, less than 10 it satisfies here. If x equal to 4, then condition meets here. Count the number is those. Okay, let's check out another example for continue statement. Here x equal to 0 while x is less than 10. There is another condition if x is equal to 4, then it increments in every iteration, continuous. It also meets the number 4. Okay. That's all about break and continue. Later we'll show you the PHP switch statement in later chapter. Thanks for watching. Bye.